Oh,
Hi, everyone. I'm glad you're here today. It's me, Lizzie Hedgehog, and with me, we got some really awesome people and an awesome guest today.
I'm the Red Bearded Gamer.
I'm Tyler.
I am Dash V, and I am so excited today.
Why?
Give me just 1 second. I broke the show. There we go. Sorry, I had to hit pause on the live stream. I'm Dash V, and I want to introduce, I'm super excited. We got Meg Ryan with us today. I'm so excited.
That's actually MegaRan, not Meg Ryan. Sorry.
It was kind of close together in the, I'm sorry. Why don't
Sorry
you
to
just,
disappoint.
yeah, since you're, I guess, the expert on our guest today, why don't you just go ahead and tell us more then?
Okay, I'm MegaRan, a video game influenced hip hop artist, former teacher, and yeah, just gamer and lover of life and comic books, video games, anime, and comedy. And one day decided to put it all together and create what I call chip hop, which is a subgenre of hip hop that I work in these days.
Nice. Chip hop. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. So tell us a bit about what is chip hop?
Well, to me, it's a combination of chiptune or video game sounds, 8-bit bleeps and bloops, or 16-bit sounds, combined with hip hop, drums, synths, and melodies to create a combination of hip hop and chiptune sounds. There it is, chip hop.
Ooh,
That's pretty
sounds
cool.
cute.
That's pretty cool. So what are some of the games that have inspired you and influenced your chip hop?
Well, I mean, Mega Man is obviously up at the top there. Big fan of Mega Man, as well as Sonic the Hedgehog. Games that had amazing music that got me going at an early point in my life. Sonic, DuckTales, Mega Man. Moving forward, Final Fantasy VII, Kingdom Hearts, Resident Evil. There's so many others. Just I think I really just strive to create music that pays an homage to video games and treats them like they're real music and art, like they deserve to be, and just putting it in, combining it with some hip hop sounds to create something new that wasn't there before. Sometimes I utilize the storyline of the game. Sometimes I create a new story inside of it, and I have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, sometimes I have folks. I have his one of his albums there, Black Materia, right behind me. There, I picked it up at one of his excellent shows. You were at Rockage a couple of years in a row, and I picked it up from one of your previous performances there. Yeah, what I wanted to point out though is that sometimes this story that you tell is your own. Was it just on Black Materia that you have one song there where you're telling the story of like how you began and how you got you're one of the few folks out there that's actually licensed by one of the companies that you're inspired by, right?
Yeah, I think I try to use a combination of what little piece of a game inspires me or reminds me of my own life story, that I try to build that into a bigger narrative and create something new out of that based on my life. So songs like there's a song called Dream Master that I did, which is based on Little Nemo. It's about a boy with a really vivid imagination who creates a world based on all the things in his dreams. And so I was like, wow, that's definitely me, or taking little pieces of Final Fantasy VII, a Cloud story, and trying to, just examining myself and figuring out how I fit into a story or a world like that. And at the end of that album, I tell a story about myself creating Mega Man influenced hip hop and Capcom actually finding it through MySpace. And
MySpace, oh my goodness.
That's a
Talk
classic.
about retro.
Totally. So yeah, they found me on MySpace and messaged me, and they were like, "Hey, we just want to talk to you about this Mega Man album you created." And I was like, "Oh boy, like this sounds bad."
lawsuit.
And then the next message was, I think it was something like, it said, "Don't worry, this isn't a cease and desist," and then it had a smiley face. And so they obviously had a sense of humor, and they kind of really scared me to death with that. But they were like, "We really like it. and Comic-Con's coming up, and would you like to come and hang out at Comic-Con with us? And I'm like, absolutely. And so there I am. I was hanging out with those guys, and then later on, some paperwork happened, and from what I found out, I was the first independent hip hop artist to be licensed by a major game company, which was amazing.
Really cool.
That is awesome.
That is really awesome. That is really awesome. So now I assume we can find you on Bandcamp, that kind of thing.
Everywhere where you get music from.
Awesome.
iTunes, Spotify, Bandcamp, Google Play, even your local torrents. Wherever you go to get music,
Local torrents.
I'm there.
You can find you.
Yeah, I'm absolutely, I say, hey, if you can't afford the music, go and torrent it, and then come out to a show when you can, or pass it to someone else, because I feel like that's what music's supposed to be. It's supposed to be shared. It's supposed to be enjoyed.
So speaking of sharing and enjoying, you do this thing. I've seen him in concert before, and twice, and both times you did this thing where you'll randomly build together a rap based on just different things that you observe, and you'll actually go out into the crowd and somebody holds up a lighter, right, and you'll be like, lighter, apple cider. Only you do it way better than that. I do it lame, but
I think that's an example of one of my lines. No.
Oh, now I'm gonna get a cease and desist. Oh, there it is, right there in my email. The cease and desist. So, from the estate of MegaRan, please do not rhyme anymore on the show. So anyway, you have to see it. I can't really do it justice here on the show, but it's just amazing to see you work kind of on the fly, off the top of your head, and it's just you're just belting it out there like you made it up the other day. Do you have a particular one of those that you really enjoyed, and was there a particular one where you're like, oh my goodness, that did not at all go in the direction that I wanted?
Oh man, absolutely. I've been doing it for a few years now, and it's something that I learned from just hanging out and with other rappers and just using it as a skill building exercise that we would do to try to come up with, just to build our impromptu freestyle skills. And man, I've had some crazy ones. I remember one in Portland. Yeah, Portland, Oregon. We had one where a lady, I tell people to take out things, and this lady brought out a bong, which I don't know how she got into the show with the bong.
Oh my gosh.
She's holding up a bong, and I don't know what I said. I don't even remember, but I just said, I don't know. I said something like, "How did you get this in here?" or "Who let this lady in with a bong?" And next, security rolls up to her and escorts her out the building before I was even done the freestyle. So I felt pretty bad about that.
Wow.
So now I give a disclaimer, don't hold up anything that will get you kicked out. Nothing illegal, nothing that'll get you kicked out of the arena or the building.
That's so impressive. She brought a bong.
Nice.
Super impressive.
So is that the strangest thing somebody, or the most surprising thing somebody's held up in one of those, or has there been something more exciting?
Well, there was once in San Diego, which is funny because my girlfriend, who's now my wife, was there, and a woman in the crowd. I tell people to hold up whatever, and then this woman somehow smoothly removes her bra from through her sleeve and does this thing and just and she's holding a bra, and I said something like, "Oh gosh, she removed her bra," or something like that. I don't remember exactly the line, but it was just such a surprise for me as I'm scanning the room, and I'm like, lighter, keys, Pokemon keychain, bra, whoa, and it just totally threw me off. But so yeah, it was definitely probably the most surprising one, and I think it did. I don't think I totally ruined that freestyle, but I remember at least a couple of bars needing some time for a break, where I maybe took a 20-second break to just compose myself from that. But it was great.
Nice.
It was always a fun time. You never know what you're going to see. There are some very clutch, similar things that I will see at a lot of shows, but every time at least someone always manages to surprise me. And now to the point where I ask fans to bring something unorthodox for that.
Yeah. Are you going to be in Long Beach or Los Angeles soon?
I don't know if you heard you. Kick it out again.
I said, are you going to be in Los Angeles or Long Beach soon for a show?
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I didn't hear you there. What did you say?
I said, are you going to be in Los Angeles or Long Beach soon for a show?
I'll be in Los Angeles for Anime Expo, I think. Yeah, AX Week. I'll be out there. So that's in the summer in June.
That's
Also,
awesome.
before, well, just July. But before that, I'll be out there for E3. So, so I expect to see you there.
oh, nice. You're gonna be walking the floors of E3.
Yes, I usually do hang out at E3. I do some of my more memorable freestyles there. Sometimes we set up
Awesome.
as a video game museum or fan gamer or some other folks who will have areas where we can hang out and we play music with this band, Super Soul Brothers. And we do a lot of really fun impromptu stuff that people love right there.
Awesome.
Nice.
I heard you're gonna be at Classic Game Fest. I'm so happy.
Yes, I will be there.
Are you gonna be performing?
Yeah, I'll be performing. Myself
that's
and
awesome.
a lot of my buddies. I will be playing with a live band, Bitforce, as well as playing with a live horn section. And it's going to be an unbelievable show.
I can't wait to meet you in person then. I'm going to that show.
All right. I was just in Austin this past weekend. I wish you would have come out to DreamHack.
Well, I went to the one that was at Pasadena, Texas, Retropalooza.
Oh.
But
Okay.
you know, I have to work too because I have to restore the money I spent like over $200
Oh,
on
I
Sonic
understand. On
and other
Sonic.
games. Well,
that's-
mixture of Sonic and other games, but still, it mostly went to the gaming stuff.
That's money well spent.
Yeah, Liz is banking on Sonic being worth more than gold in the futures market.
Maybe one day Sonic like materials will be currency for us.
That'd be
Like Fallout.
hilarious. Like the
That's
gold
nice.
coins.
Yeah.
So speaking of one day versus now, have you played any of the more recent Mega Man games?
Yeah, I've played every Mega Man game, but you mean the, I guess the re-releases or the new releases of like Mega Man 9 and 10. I guess those would be the only thing that's new Mega Man. Yeah, number 9 has been a huge inspiration to me. I think, and this is just a theory, I created the Mega Man album called MegaRan, and then that was in 2007 that Capcom and I worked together. 2008. And then in 2009, they released the Mega Man 9 album. And at that time, it had a song on it called track or a boss called Splash Woman. And so I wrote a song about Splash Woman. And then Capcom asked me, they didn't necessarily ask me, but they did say, hey, you know, it would be cool if you wrote some raps about our new game. And of course, a company that does so much for me, I was honored to. And so I was like, well, let me hear the soundtrack. And if the soundtrack's good, I'll work with it. But honestly, if it doesn't move me, I can't force it. So I heard the Mega Man 9 soundtrack, and I was like blown away. It was really good. And so what I did was I worked on an album called MegaRan 9, which contained the Splash Woman song, and which continues to be like my most popular song to this day, probably, besides like Avalanche on the Final Fantasy album. And that was because of Capcom kind of letting me hear it and asking me if I would be interested in doing it. And so yeah, that wouldn't have even come about, and I'm really glad it did.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very, very nice. Jeremy, you look like
So
you
I
had a
say
question
that
there.
to say that I have played these games,
Yeah.
and that 10 were both extremely difficult, and I didn't even get a chance to beat them. I had a maybe broke a controller and had a lot of frustrating times. But that's just the way I remember Mega Man.
I was gonna say some things never change, right?
Oh,
Yep.
dude, I was gonna ask
So
you. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Go
since
ahead,
you were
Lizzie.
asking. Well, did you get the Archie comics, the Mega Man and Sonic Worlds Collide?
Yes, they did the Worlds Collide comic. I collected that. Big fan of how they did it. I love what Archie did with Mega Man and Sonic, especially the crossover. We did an album, a couple songs based on that idea with a gentleman named Mr. Wilson. We made an album called Blur Bomber, which is Mega Man versus Sonic stuff.
Oh, I gotta hear that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, so it's really fun. It's Mega Man, like I rap on Sonic beats and he as Sonic raps on Mega Man beats. So it's a pretty cool concept. It's out there. It's on my Bandcamp. It's called Blur Bomber.
Okay, I'll look for it.
Or
Why do you like Mega Man so much? What makes you like those games so much?
I think honestly it was the music, you know, and the colorful nature of those games, and the challenge as well that kept me going back to them. But I love the fact that you could pause the game and still hear the music, and so that would just keep me rocking, you know. And it was tunes that I never got tired of. And so I used to put a little recorder next to my TV and record the Mega Man songs, and then go to school with them in my Walkman. And
That's awesome.
because I just thought they were so great, you know. And then all these years later, I'm able to make video game music my job, which is insane, you know, to think. But that's how it all started. It was Mega Man, definitely.
Nice. XP Coin from the chat has a question. He wants to know, have you worked both music industry and game industry through your music? And if so, what's the difference of working on music kind of geared toward or inspired by gaming versus just working like pure music in the quote pure music industry biz?
Wow, I'm glad pure is in quotes because there's nothing pure about the music industry. But only thing I've realized is that, you know, just kind of how kind of evil and cutthroat a lot of the music business is, and that the game industry, you don't necessarily see any of that. But especially on the music side, particularly with me, the only challenge is the fact that I do hip hop, and a lot of video game developers, for whatever reason, just aren't fond of hip hop. And I feel like, not that I expect hip hop to be in a Mega Man game, like that's just not what I expect ever in my life. But you know, acknowledgement of it as an art form is really all I want. That's all we really want, is to try to bring some, you know, legitimacy to the things that we do. So I've had quite a challenge, you know, in the gaming world with bringing hip hop there, and also in the music world bringing video games there. You know, both it's a weird situation where both of them look at the other thing like, oh, this doesn't belong, or oh, this is stupid, you know, or this is just a joke, you know. And that, but it's okay though. I think that the challenge of it makes it worth it when it does work out, you know. And it's exciting to be able to be the first person to do a lot of things I've been able to do in video games and in music. So it's exciting, scary, and nerve-wracking to be the first, you know.
Yeah, you're kind of a trailblazer. I remember before Square had announced or committed to Final Fantasy VII, the actual remake that they're doing. I was listening. I'd gotten Black Materia, and I put it on my phone, and I had it playing through my car. And my wife we were driving somewhere, I don't remember where, and then like Black Materia like kicks on, and there's a couple songs in there, and I think one of them was Avalanche. And then Avalanche is the one where it goes through the different characters and what they do, right? And you get to
Avalanche is it's Barrett's song mainly. So
yeah.
I'm mainly discussing Barrett's, you know, his goal with Avalanche. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I thought was really interesting about that particular song was I don't know why I wasn't expecting it, but like when it got delivered, I'm like, oh yeah, he totally does have that vibe. When he did the whole like, I pity the fool that it compares me to the other dude, right? Where it's like the clear Mr. T reference, and I'm like, I never really thought about it in that way, but like he totally does have that whole Mr. T vibe going on. So what did you do the voice for Barrett on that as well, or?
I did, and a lot of it's so funny that I've had people ask me like, man, who does that? And for a long time I didn't actually say it. I think even on the song when I wrote it, it says featuring Barrett Wallace, you know, so people would just think it was Barrett. But yeah, it was just a little bit of tuning down of the vocals, a little pitching, and I'm able to sound like, you know.
It was skillfully done, because I'm like, who did you do that? Because it didn't sound like you, and it didn't sound like, because I've done like audio mastering and that kind of stuff. Like usually you can tell when somebody's like tweaking the bits with their own voice, but I couldn't tell. So you did a good job.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. XP Coin wants to know, what do you think of VR game?
Oh man, this is tough. I've answered this question a few times this weekend, and it kind of changes every time. If you'd asked me a month ago or 3 months ago, I'd be like, VR is just not great. Really, it's just, I don't know. I wasn't really into it. I was like, okay, these games are very one-dimensional. It's very pre-first gen. It's a little too soon to tell. But then I saw a really cool game, and gosh, I cannot remember the name of it. I'm so sorry. But it was a really fun game on Oculus that I saw where you could do different hand motions to create spells and things. And it was maybe Unspoken or something like that. And it was a really cool game. And so I think that, and I was standing next to a guy in line, and he's just like, man, you know, the best thing about VR is, and I was like, what? And he's like, this is only the beginning, you know? And I was just like, man, when you think about that, I think like, man, the future and the sky's the limit for what VR could possibly pull off, because it's so early right now. And we're able to still do cool things now. So, I mean, if you imagine what 2-3 generations later will look like. So right now it's early. So I guess it's key to kind of jump in it early. I met a guy at the airport who does a VR talk show where he has virtual guests, and they all put on headsets and they're in there. And part of my old mind just doesn't grasp it all the way. I'm like, wait a minute. You can't, wait, this isn't, nah. But it's really cool when you see it in motion. So I don't know. I think it's important to remember that it is the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think if you keep that in mind, then you'll be very, very optimistic about what's going to happen. And that's where I am right now.
Maybe next year or the year after.
VR is going to be the stuff. Right now, I wouldn't purchase a VR machine. I don't necessarily feel like it's more than a good 45 minutes to an hour of fun times. And but in that 45 minutes to an hour, I'm usually really blown away. So I'm excited about the future of it.
Nice. Maybe in another year or two, you'll be doing a concert with MegaMan.
Yeah, you know, I really think that
would be
VR
cool.
concerts. My friend Grimecraft is starting something called The Wave, and he's basically building a digital VR concert space. And I really think that that's the future, you know, especially for indie musicians. When you look at stuff like Patreon or Kickstarter, or, you know, we're creating, as creatives, we're making our product for the people who specifically asked for it. You know, we're not in a situation now where we're trying to go out and gain millions of fans. We're trying to create music for people who love retro games and love our, you know, love a fun vibe. So being able to do that and then saying, okay, the first 100 people to, you know, go in here and click this and pick a password and do something, can jump into this virtual VR concert and give, you know, requests and do a live VR freestyle and things like that. Like, I think that the possibilities are endless.
Now, speaking of possibilities and different things, like building stuff for the fans, and your fans specifically being like a lot of, you know, not just hip hop fans, but fans of retro gaming. You had at least one album that you released fully chiptune on an NES cartridge, and I think you've re-released that recently, haven't you?
I have a good friend of mine, a guy named Paul at InfiniteNESLives.com, has created and recreated a project that was formerly only for Kickstarters. We put my album RNDM, which came out in 2015, my last full-length release. He put it on an NES cartridge. So what we did was I got some musicians and myself, and we sat down with this. If I could show you without breaking my studio. Okay, took this, which is a family computer, which is hacked and has a chip on the top of it called the HFC5. And what we would do is take this and a tracking software and then manage to somehow create and recreate the tunes that were already on the album, but in a lo-fi chiptune version that was small enough to fit on one of these.
You don't have one of these, Turf. You need to get one of these.
So basically, this isn't actually it. This is one that someone cross-stitched my logo into it, but this isn't the actual orange cartridge.
Yeah, he's got an actual one that's got like the artwork and all that other stuff. I think it's a different color cartridge too, right?
Yeah, it's a blue cart, and it's really cool. It's really like, that's dream come true for me. Like, it's the equivalent of, as a musician, getting your music on vinyl, probably. You know, where you're like, man, I'm on that record. Now to be able to say, man, the equivalent of that in the game world is to be like, I am on this cartridge. That is amazing. So, so pleased at how it came together. Man, there's so many people whose blood, sweat, and tears went into all the work that went into programming for that.
So
cartridge. It's very hard.
So now the new version that's been kind of brought back, are there still some of those in stock, or are those sold out again?
I believe they're still in stock. I just talked to him. He shipped off the first batch of orders. I think he has 50, and I think that 15 or so have sold in the last week.
Where can folks find those if they're interested?
InfiniteNESLives.com is where you can find that.
All right,
Awesome.
InfiniteNESLives.com, folks. We'll put a link down in the doodly-doo so that if you're interested in checking out that cartridge, my friend Lester, who I'm sure you've met at a couple of the shows there, he's the Shutterbug there.
Oh yeah, I know Lester. I even met Lester not met, but saw him again in Japan.
Yeah,
Lester
that guy
is so
goes
awesome.
everywhere.
I see him in the Bay Area, and then I see him in Japan. He's so awesome.
Awesome. Are you gonna bring those with you to Classic Game Fest?
Yes, actually, if he can
Yay.
print me a few, I will have some of those, as well as some new vinyl and all kinds of cool stuff.
Awesome.
Yay.
So coming up, we're going to be able to see you at Classic Game Fest. Where else are we going to be able to see you?
Well, and if you're in the UK, you can come out to any of my shows, which will be in the United Kingdom. That's going to be in London, Manchester. Wait, I got this thing right here. Let me look at it. It's got
Oh wow.
Brighton, Leicester, Cambridge, Preston, Shrewsbury, Glasgow, Nottingham, Newcastle, and Leeds. So all those tour dates are at megaran.com/shows. After that, a bunch of festivals, conventions, and things like that. We will be at E3, which I mentioned, Too Many Games Fest, which is in where is that? That's in Philadelphia. July 1st through 3rd, I'll be at the Audio Feed Festival in Champaign, Illinois. July 20th to 23rd is San Diego Comic-Con. And then the 29th and 30th, Classic Game Fest in Austin.
Sweet.
All right.
Everyone, man.
Yeah, I kind of have to go everywhere, you know. What can I say? I love traveling and I love performing. So anywhere someone offers me a chance, I usually take them up on it.
That is awesome. Well, it's been great having you on the show. I think you have to jet out a little bit early, don't you?
I do. I got some other things to do. I got to get ready for this UK tour. So
wow.
I am packing and editing video and doing all kinds of things.
All right. Well, we'll let you return to that. Thank you so much for coming on the show and talking to us a bit about your dream and how you've been able to make it a reality. And really excited.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Also, you can go to Patreon. I'm doing 2 new songs every month. And since it's a new month, I just finished the first new song, which is going to be an Undertale track, which is coming out on my Patreon page, which is bitsandrhymes.com. That's bitsandrhymes.com.
Nice.
And so, yeah, go on over there and you can grab that.
That is awesome. So thanks again. Sorry about the Meg Ryan thing. It was I read the email fast. I was all, but you were just as good as having Meg Ryan on the show.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
So,
all right. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed that little treat there. He is just a really great guy. I know that he said, like, hey, you can catch him everywhere, including on the BitTorrent. That is true. I'm sure that's true. Give a couple of his tunes a listen, and if you like them, buy an album or two. He's doing what he loves, based in what you love, and so I don't know. I feel it's kind of like an upstart, indie kind of thing ourselves. I feel a certain desire to kind of help out other members in the community and that kind of stuff. So check out his tunes if they're your thing and you like them. Maybe throw a couple bucks his way and put them in your rotation there for the commute to work.
I think we should talk about Breath of the Wild.
Oh, Breath of the Wild. We do have a half an hour to go. I could fill a half an hour with Breath of the Wild.
First of all, before we start, Spoiler alert! If you don't want to know anything, leave now.
Yeah, spoiler alerts. So, although I do have to say, let's avoid any major plot spoilers.
Well, I'm not gonna say that, but we're gonna go to some game mechanics.
Okay, yeah. So
You know,
Jeremy, I'll
go
let
play
you.
Ace Combat.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, go play Ace Combat if you don't want to hear any spoilers. But I got it last Friday afternoon or evening, and I beat it within 8 days. When I first played it, I kind of hated it because I was getting one shot all the time.
Really, you hated it?
It's just like grindy, kind of like. Then the more shrines I hit, the further I got. It's like, okay, I like this game. Then by the time I beat it and saw the whole storyline, I was like, you know what, this is a good game. I give it 9 out of 10.
You beat the whole game already?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. How many hours did you put into it to beat it?
A lot, dude. I was playing nonstop Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all through the week. You know, when you're unemployed, you get a lot of free time.
Gotcha. I've been able to play it, I think, 3 times so far in the 3 weeks that I've had it.
Yeah.
So, what about you? What about you, T-Pug? What's your impressions there?
I love it.
How far along are you?
I'm probably 3/4 of the way through, but I've been doing everything. I mean, every side quest, everything.
Have you got all the armor
I've spent
sets?
almost. I've spent literal days, like real life days, just walking around, just screwing around, seeing the game. So
Gotcha.
I'm in no hurry to beat it, but I'm almost there.
Yeah, I'm also definitely not in a hurry to beat it. But that's more out of I'm resigned to the fact that I'm gonna have to spend days walking around. So I don't know. I don't want to sound incredibly negative on this game because I still haven't decided actually if I like the game. I think I do because I'm still playing the game, right? But and it definitely reminds me of at least so far. I must be doing the game totally wrong because it reminds me of Nintendo Heart because what you're talking about, Jeremy, I'm getting one-hit killed all the time, and then it is getting so damn frustrating. Twice I've almost beaten the island that you get stranded on.
Don't waste your time with that right away.
Only to get one-hit killed by the very last friggin' guy, the Inox or whatever he's called there, the Hinox or whatever.
Yeah.
Beat him no problem, right? Just bombed him into oblivion. Beat up everybody else. One dude comes up behind me like a friggin' moblin, right? Comes up behind me and hits me in the back with a hammer and I'm dead. And I'm like, dude, seriously? I just took out a guy that was 3 stories tall, and one dude comes up behind me with a freaking garden hoe and takes me out.
Yeah, I would waste my time on the island until later. That's what I do.
Yeah, you definitely need a lot of hearts for that one.
Yeah. So I've only got. I think that's the problem. I only have 6 hearts, and I'm trying to do this stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling you, you're shrines right now.
Yeah, I'm hitting up the shrines now. Now, tell me if I'm the only one catching this vibe, right? So you go into the shrine and you see the dots with the lines and all that other stuff. The design, the music, the textures, the shrines to me very much, and then the little rollerball type things with the motion controls. Every time I go into a shrine, I feel like I've flipped into Metroid Prime universe. Is it just me?
Well, I didn't get that done.
I can kind of see that, but no.
I mean, the music definitely. To me, the music, the effects, everything. The rollerball is morph ball mode. The puzzles that you'd have to solve with that. I swear, if you go back and play through some of the Metroid Prime trilogy, you're gonna see the golden circles with the lines kind of connecting them and everything. That
Those
motif
are actually
all over Metroid.
constellations I read recently.
Gotcha. So I wonder if, and the fact that they're getting a little bit more technical now in this Zelda, talking about different ancient tech that's kind of been lost and abandoned. I wonder if they're maybe building up slowly, over the next couple of releases toward maybe some kind of merging of the Metroid / Zelda universe, or if it's just them, loosely inspired by each other, which has been known to happen before, right?
Yeah.
So
Have you had the displeasure running to Lino yet?
Have I had what?
The displeasure of running across a Lionel.
A Lionel. Is that one of the people that you talk to and then suddenly they like open a case of whoop ass on you?
You don't
What do you-
know.
Now, you will know what a Lionel is when you find one.
Okay, because I've had that whole, you know what I'm talking about, right? I've had that whole where you talk to a fellow
That's not
traveler,
Lionel. I don't talk about Undertones and Ninja.
and then they just open a case of whoop ass on you, and you're like, what the hell, man? I was just walking down the road. You fucking jerk.
You'll know when you run into a Lionel. 'Cause you're like,
All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I've seen the flying dragon so far.
Yeah, there's 3 of those.
I did not bother to fight it. I figured, if a moblin with a garden hoe can one-hit kill me, I'm pretty sure the dragon can whoop my
When I
sorry
first
ass.
saw it, I was
You don't really fight the dragon, though.
No.
Don't tell me. Let's figure out first.
I'll have a brisk talk and a tea with him.
Yeah, when I first ran across that, I was going across the bridge, a big bridge. I was like, oh no, I had 3 hearts at the time. I was like, I'm gonna get my ass kicked. So I ran across all fast. Okay, I think we all agree though, the rain is the worst thing in that game.
Oh my god. And it hits at the exact worst possible time,
Always.
right? Like I'm in the middle of a friggin' mountain, right? It's like a sheer fall. I'm only halfway up the mountain. And there's like ocean below, right? And it's like, dude, seriously? Like I can't possibly, it's too far away for me to like glide somewhere and I'm not high enough. So I can't glide across because I'll just land in the water with no stamina and I'll die. So yeah, it's definitely...
Yeah,
Every time I do the fire missions, it always rains. I have to like wait 2 minutes, 3 minutes for it to goes by. So I can do the fire missions again.
I haven't gotten to fire missions quite yet, but I've been cooking the hell out of stuff, and I've learned that like the electricity resistance sucks. Like, does it even do anything?
No.
Not for food, really.
Yeah, it's like I'm not really too. So I don't know. So,
Take off everything metallic. Your sword, your shield, your bow.
yeah.
Ow! Stop it.
Because it actually affects
Gotcha.
when you get like thunder going, lightning going on. If you got metallic objects, you're more of a target.
Oh no, I figured that out. That was the
Okay.
3rd death I had on the island. Literally, I'm in the process of beating the last guy, and lightning strikes me dead. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Seriously, like I'm about to deliver the last hit because I could see like the health bar on him and everything. I'm about to hit deliver the last, the fatal blow, and I get frickin' struck by lightning and die. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Seriously. So yeah, but I'm still playing. So I think that means I like the game because
Give it time. I had to give it time.
there's a lot of games. I think it's one of those games where you could play it, beat it, walk away from it, like come back to it 3-4 years later, and like, oh, I forgot this was there. Oh, I forgot this was there. So I think that there's some something to be said for the replay value there. There's something like what over. You were saying it, Jeremy. There's like over 200 Korok seeds that you can get.
There's
900 cards.
There's 900. Holy crap! I'm not getting
my
any single
gosh.
one of those.
Yeah, I found
That's why I said
240 or something so far. And
I'm
I've been
like
looking for
20.
them.
My goodness.
I'm like at 20.
My
Like
gosh.
under little rocks or bushes or something.
And there's how many?
So-
There's how many shrines?
120 shrines. 120.
120.
42 are hidden.
Now, I wouldn't mind if there were fewer shrines, but if they were more like to me, it seems like the shrine feels like it's just getting good and then it's done. Like, I don't know. The shrines just feel way too short to me. Am I the only one that gets that?
I hate puzzles, so the faster I get it done, the better.
Well, the motion puzzles aside, those I agree with you. Those I wish
Those are
weren't in
terrible.
the game at all. I don't like them at all.
Yeah.
But motion puzzles aside, where you're trying to do a bad remake of Marble Madness. The other stuff like, oh, figure out that you have to climb the waterfall. Oh, figure out that you have to, make the water, manipulate it in such a way that it's kind of like got a pinball game thing going on. That I kind of enjoyed. But I felt like just as it was starting to like really go somewhere, it's like, oh, you've beaten this trial. I'm like, I was just getting warmed up. Like what? Like to me, I would want to have the puzzles kind of build up to, because they have those tests of strength then they have the tests of like the movement, and then they have the you know, figure out this puzzle. I would rather have the figure out this series of puzzles, and then at the end of the series of puzzles, right, like you have a test of strength. Like, to me, that would be, yeah, I kind of.
Because I struggled with that. The major test ones, I had struggled on those. So I put more OP on the game.
Yeah, I'm struggling with them kind of too, because here's the one thing that is happening, because I refuse. The problem is I refuse to back down from a challenge. So there's stuff that I'll get into, and it's like I'm clearly not ready for this part of the game, but damn it, it let me walk there and get there. So I'm gonna finish that damn thing. So here I am. I've got like, you know, 5 hearts, 6 hearts, and I'm still like going in like, oh, major test of strength. I'm gonna whoop your monkey ass, and I just go in and, you know, I die like, you know, 20 times, and then I finally like conquer it, and then but it's cool because then I got these like super powerful weapons and shields. So, but I guess my biggest complaint though is that other than, you know, in the shrine when it says like major test of strength or whatever, for me it's very difficult to find out because there's so many side quests and the main quest is kind of ambiguous. Like, it's difficult for me to tell when I'm still in an area that I'm meant to be in for my kind of armor, skill set, heart level. Like, I feel like I can wander like for literally like an hour or two in the game and easily get to a place that it's not until like one encounter gone like totally bad that I'm like, holy shit, I'm like knee deep in something that like I should not be here probably. Yeah. But like it's not like other games like Infamous or something like that where like the sky starts to darken and the things that power you up become like more sparse. So I kind of like that I can go anywhere, but at the same time, I think for me, just because of where I happen to be stumbling into and stumbling around, it's making it a way more frustrating experience than maybe it was meant to be. Because I just don't know, like, am I supposed to go over here? Because I'm still looking for this dude that's last name is Sun.
Oh, dude, don't even start those missions yet. I know what you're talking about.
So, yeah, I don't know. Tyler, you're like 3/4 of the way through. What's your thoughts?
As far as what? Just the whole game?
Overall game.
I like
overall game and ability to kind of wander all over the place and the difficulty curve. Like, how's it for you?
I actually haven't had much problem with it being very difficult. I mean, the island that we talked about is probably the hardest part that I've come across so far.
Yeah.
And it's pretty tough. I mean, I died 3 or 4 times and I finally beat it. Other than that, I mean, all my deaths have been kind of like just stupidity on my part, you know?
Yeah, not me.
But I mean, like, I'm not finding it super difficult. The difficulty does ramp up a little bit. The more enemies that you defeat, stronger ones will spawn later on. So,
yeah,
you know, so there is kind of like that's what I'm looking for. I don't know. But it does get harder as you go, which is good. You know, because I mean, if you were just fighting low level goblins the whole time, it would be boring.
Yeah. I much prefer to get one hit killed by a more powerful weapon and monster than by one of the starter guys. That gets old pretty quick. But
how did your first Blood Moon go?
First. Oh, that was fine. As soon as the Blood Moon kicked in, I just went to an inn and slept until morning.
I didn't. I was in the middle of a mission, so the whole night I was scared.
I don't even really care about time of day or anything. I mean, the Blood Moon, it happens every now and again. It's like, I just keep on.
Because it refreshes everything, so I can go back and collect more stuff.
It does.
Yeah, I'm upgrading all my armor right now, so I need Blood Moons more often.
Yeah. Did either of you buy a house?
Yeah, I'm all upgraded.
So yeah, I like that because I could, you know, go back and take weapons and stockpile them and all that stuff. So that was kind of
stockpile more. That was disappointing me.
Yeah, just three swords, right, or 3 weapons and 3 shields. Yeah,
and 3 bows.
Yeah.
And I don't like how like I couldn't buy a soft mattress for the bed.
You sleep on the floor?
Like why is it that I go to like the inn and I can sleep on a higher quality mattress than in my own home?
Like, you do know there's 2 endings, right?
It's not right. No, I didn't. No spoilers on the endings, though.
I'm gonna tell you how to get the true ending. That's all. Do all the memories and get the Master Sword. If you want the true ending, that's what you gotta do.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean,
I have memories. I believe. So yeah, make sure you do them all.
Yep.
it's kind of interesting though, also because like in other games, it's sort of like a grind, you know, to level up, to get stronger, to do this, to do that. This, I mean, it's not like grinding. You know, to me, it's just more just like walking around and looking at cool stuff. You know, trying to find neat stuff to see. So to me, it's not even a grind. I get more enjoyment out of just walking around.
Yeah, now if I could walk around without getting one hit killed by shit, then I would agree. But for me, it's kind of I don't know. Maybe I should just put pants on.
Yeah, that's true. That would help.
After Tyler mentioned that one horse in our chat thing, I had to go look for it, so I kept it.
The what?
The one horse he told me you found. I'm gonna say which one, so no spoilers.
Oh.
You mentioned in chat. You said it's a special horse.
Yeah.
I had to look it up just so I can get it for myself.
Yeah.
I named him Buttercup.
Oh, Buttercup.
But yeah,
Okay,
I mean, I'm just really enjoying it. I don't find it. The one thing that I'm kind of I've never really seen it mentioned before anywhere yet that I kind of want to talk about is, to this point, Zelda games have been pretty linear. You know, you go to one dungeon, you beat it, you beat the boss, you get the item, you go to the next one. You know, it's sort of just. I mean, it sort of forces you where to go. In this one, I mean, obviously, they changed the entire formula. So where do they go from here? You know,
I think you got to stick to the world. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the genie's out of the bottle. You can't put it back in. So, and my concern is, I mean, this last game took.
That's not true. They could always go back the other way. But I think the more important question, and it's kind of implied by what you're saying, I think, is should they?
Yeah, because I mean, you know, it's been so long since a Zelda game has gotten these high scores. Since Ocarina of Time, which was the first, you know, open world one.
Yeah, Skyward Sword got kind of, it was kind of halfway with reviewers, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, sure they could go back to like a more straightforward linear game, but why would they? You know, and I mean, this last game it took 7 years or something to make. You know, so if it's going to take another 7 years to make another one.
To me, it's worth it though. 7 years we waited. To me, it was worth it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say it was worth the wait. It is obvious to me that they developed it with Wii U in mind, more so than the Switch. Although there's some things that are kind of baffling to me. Like I noticed actually the other day. I've been playing the game, like I said, I only played it 2 or 3 times, but this particular time when I played it, I went to the menu screen and for holding items and stuff, I was like, oh, duh, I got a touch screen. Why don't I just, you know, and then I realized the touch doesn't work like at all. There actually is no touch controls whatsoever, which was kind of surprising to me.
Can input horse names, I think, touch typing.
Yeah, but I was hoping to do like recipes and that kind of stuff. And I do have to say one thing that I don't like at all that I do hope gets refined. I don't like I'm really not a fan of the controller. So I'm gonna end up, I think, getting one like what Jeremy has, because to try to play on the Switch, like literally playing it for a couple of hours and being in combat and running around and everything, it's actually painful to play for extended period of time on the Switch.
It's too big for me. That's why I stick to the Pro Controller.
Yeah, well, see, with the Switch, it wouldn't necessarily. I'm sorry, with the Wii U, I don't think it'd necessarily be as bad because you've got the thumbsticks are both at the top and then the buttons are down below it. So you can kind of cheat with like the thumb depending on what you're doing with the thumbstick. The way that it is on the Switch controller, the other directional thumbstick is down below, which means that there's certain things that you can only do if you can contort your fingers in a certain way, because for example, if you want to do certain actions while you're moving the camera, it's incredibly difficult to do that unless you're doing funky things with your hands and stuff. So I was having lots of, and maybe it's just that I'm getting old, but I was having lots of issues with my hands like cramping up and having to have my hands on the controller in a weird way. Like I have to tuck if this is the pad, I have to tuck my fingers up here because if I have them on the buttons, they'll just slide. They slide off the bumpers. So I play most of it with my fingers up here so that I'm ready to like hit the L and R when I need to, which is another trick I had to do on the DS. So it's kind of like they took the stuff I didn't like about playing on the 3DS and they brought it to playing it on the thing. But I think an easy fix to that, if not an expensive fix, is I'm just gonna have to get I'll have to get their equivalent of the Pro controller for the Switch.
I got two complaints. I don't like the horses. It's too like I gotta fight them half the time. It seems like they're trying to go somewhere.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't have to fight it, so it might be the temperament of the horse, because different horses have a different temperament.
Giving issues that time, and your opponent's supposed to be like calm. So
what I didn't like was that I've discovered that there's lots of glitchiness with the horses. Like I've had horses, like I've been on the horse and the horse like starts sliding down the cliff like into the water, and then like and then the horse is like literally like standing there on the water, and so I get off the horse and I swim away and I go back to some stable and I say, hey, can I get my horse? And somehow they're able to, 5 minutes later there's my horse, so they must have towed him out of the water and all this other.
Back to tow truck up. And my other issue was I can't pet the dogs. 1 out of 10 would not.
Oh, you know what? I do wish that there was some more interaction with the aminals. You agree? I agree.
But if you feed the dogs or if you run around in front of them and if you keep them happy, they'll actually take you to buried treasure.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you make them happy? What do you do?
Sometimes if you run in front of them and just like run circles with your control like this.
Yeah.
Like right from the dog, he'll see like what the horse does. He gets all hearts. Or if you just feed him like apples and bananas, feed him 2 times, then he'll get all happy and he'll go take you to a treasure ball.
Oh, nice.
I did not know that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, by the way, folks, in case you don't know it, also another tip there: if you find these different stone statues that have like usually a couple of them will have like an apple or whatever laid out. Instead of just collecting up the apples and adding them to your inventory, place an apple in the bowls that are missing them, and something magical will happen.
Wait for your surprise. Then steal the apples afterward. That's what I did.
Yeah, then steal the apples afterwards.
Yeah, there's actually a few different sort of puzzles like that. One I just recently discovered is if you come across 3, there's trees or there's different kinds of plants that will have a fruit of some kind, apples or if there's 3 of them like right in a row. 2 of them will have apples in the exact same position. Another one will have like 2 apples on it. If you pick the one apple to make them all match, something happens too.
There's also flowers. There's like a 1 flower, and there's a patch of 2 flowers, 3 flowers, 4 flowers, 5 flowers. If you hit them in a certain order, something will happen too.
Yeah.
That's what I know.
Magic happens.
Yeah, there's a ton of little things in that game.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like the reimagining that they did of the fairies there, like the fairy ponds, I'm really digging that. I thought that was pretty cool what they what they did.
Like, expensive though.
Yeah, they gotta, they gotta pay for the bling, right? You see all the bling and everything on it. I think the music for the fairy pools is perfect. I think the way that they kind of reimagined the fairy pools was really kind of cool. And if you run to them really quickly, and you spam the grab button there, you can actually, there's little fairies that are flying around the pool.
Yeah.
And you can collect them. And just like the original game for the NES, when you die, or when you would normally die, the fairies come out and they will replenish all of your hearts. So usually I like to, so it's definitely worth going to the fairy pool to upgrade the clothing, get some extra defense there, and then also run around the perimeter of it, and you can catch some fairies.
So, thinking of the second game in NES, do you find any weird ladies who tell you, "Please come into my house and I'll heal you," and you go in there?
Unfortunately, no.
No, I guess the weirdest thing would be though, Lizzie, is you have to see You have to see how the fairies upgrade your stuff. It's very
Oh my
goodness.
Have you
Oh my
gotten
goodness.
to the 4th level yet? Or
Yeah.
No. There's 4 of them. I know there were 3.
there's 4?
There's 4. Oh, nice. Very nice. Did they get progressively more risque?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Because one of them's all like he literally blushes like when she's all like googling him and stuff.
Wait to level 4.
They definitely get more expensive. I'll tell you that.
Oh man,
10,000 rupees for the last one.
Holy crap!
I told you,
paid.
I grind on the bowling one to get that one. I take it strikes.
That's one expensive fairy because you know what? My house only costs half that. Right, like that fairy's too high maintenance for me.
It's worth it though.
You got to do the skill bowling and keep the strikes. There's a certain way to do it.
So let me ask you this question because I didn't pay attention too much. Like once you've found, does each fairy upgrade you in a different way, or
They let you go to the next level.
No, they will all increase. You can go once you unlock all of them. You can go to any of them.
Yeah.
And they will all increase.
So it's the same thing as the other.
Okay, so it's a multiplier. They all do the same. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because that's what I was wondering. Like, is it? Should I just look for like the most powerful one and like just unlock her and then?
No, it doesn't matter which one you go to.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I'm digging the
After
game.
the show, I'll see the video of the snowballing and how to do it.
Alrighty, I'll have to check that out. Also, folks, for anybody that's still stuck on the chicken hunt, I'm not gonna give away the solution to the chicken hunt, but I will tell you what is not the solution. You might think, oh, I'll just go to another village and swipe one of those chickens, and then
do that.
I spent an hour walking from one part of the map. Like I went to one of the stables there, and I grabbed one of the chickens, and I'm like, do, and I walked all the way back over to the village, and I lobbed him in there, and he's just like, oh man, I still only have 9 chickens. I'm like, count them, there's 10 in there, give me I want whatever the prize is. Like, damn it.
Some other guy, he did the same thing with the orbs, took him to a different location, it didn't work either.
I didn't think about that. Oh.
Yep. So, well, apparently Nintendo did think of that. So I
can't believe you did that. They're all in the village. That's the thing.
Well, no spoilers, but I've been up and down that village. I've even used the Sheikah slate to try to like triangulate like where the Sheikah slate is no help. It's like, oh, all the chickens are over there in the coop. It's like, motherfucker, no, they are not.
I know what you're talking about. Did it? And I don't know.
No, they are not.
Did you attack them yet?
What's that?
Have you attacked the cookie?
I learned from Link's Awakening.
Yeah, I still did
don't
the same thing.
F with the chickens.
I still did the same thing. I did it just to see if they did it.
My son said they will attack you nonstop until you're dead.
No, dude, I was by a stable and I did it, and I ran to the stable and he stopped.
Okay. Yeah, he said he just kept running until, they chased him into that field because he did it at the stable. And they chased him into the field where one of those monsters came alive, one of the mechanical beast things. And it, like, shot him in the face with a laser and one hit killed him.
That's awesome.
So, like, I'll watch a YouTube video of someone else messing with the chicken. But I'm not going to mess with the chicken. So, yeah, I got to say, I'm enjoying I am enjoying the game. But I feel like the part that I'm not enjoying with is how frequently I'm dying. I feel like I'm not as far along in the game as I ought to be. So I feel like for me, I think the difficult time is I don't get a lot of time to play. So like maybe like 2 weeks goes by and then I finally have a Saturday where I can like spend a couple hours on it. No, I want to save my time off of work to like go to real places and climb real mountains and.
Hyrule is a real place. How dare you?
Just take the Switch to work.
No, because then they won't want to like pay me for playing the although there is somebody playing. So
I'll shave my head like you and put a goatee on and put your hat on and go as you was working. they'll never
There you
get
go.
to play them. Never
There we
suspect a
go.
thing.
There we go. So I would definitely recommend it to folks. I agree with you, Tyler. Like, I think now that the genie's out of the bottle, I think I like the fact that it's non-linear. I don't want it to be linear so much as I wouldn't mind it giving a little bit more in the way of hints and reminders of, like, if you're just doing a whole bunch of stuff, at least give me some kind of subtle hint or reminder of, like, hey, if nothing else, keep in mind this or keep in mind that, because at this point I have no idea, like,
Well, that's what your quest log is for. So it makes
well, yeah,
all that.
but in the quest log, I have no idea. Like, see, here's the deal. Here's my goal right now, right? Like, I want to get enough hearts to where I'm not getting my ass handed to me by simple, basic things. And I have no idea what of those dozen side quests is going to help me out in that endeavor.
None of them.
So,
Shrines. Shrines is all you need
that's it.
to get hearts and stamina. Everything
Yeah.
else is gravy.
Alrighty.
Seriously, it's all about rupees and
No,
your
that's
gear.
good. That's good to know, because it's not obvious from the way the game lays itself out. So,
You want to focus on finding shrines and the shrine quests. That's the main things you want to focus on. Side quests are cool. You know, I'm doing everyone I can,
yeah.
but it's only for rupees and other
So now-
gear.
Now, here's an interesting question for you, right? Like, what if they could make Metroid as non-linear? What if the next Metroid Prime was as open as Breath of the Wild?
I don't know how they would do that. I wouldn't be opposed to that, you know, because I never was a big fan of Metroid Prime. I was more the 2D Metroid kind of guy, but I would definitely give it a shot.
I think the Prime series are close, and I think that they definitely have the. If you think about it, like, so I think they have the potential to go even more open world than even a Zelda game, because on Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, you're in the land of Hyrule, right? On Metroid, you're generally in the first two Prime games, you're on a planet. In the third Prime game, you can actually go from planet to planet. So, yeah. So I think that there would be some. I personally would really like to see a Metroid that was a bit more open. Metroid and Zelda have both had that formula for ages, right? Of giving you the impression that it's an open world, but then really kind of walling you off, right, and keeping you in, like, a very controlled, space. Not the first Legend of Zelda, so much as a bunch of the ones that followed it. Generally, like, I think Link's Awakening and Link to the Past. You know, from that point, I think that's when they really started to kind of walled garden you. And even though there's this giant map, you can only get to certain parts of it. At a particular time, they'll put, like, a boulder in your way, or they'll put, like, trees that you need to burn or something like that. In Zelda, the original Zelda for the NES, you could pretty much go just about anywhere, but you might get your ass handed to you.
Yeah.
So it's glad to
By
see
the
them
way-
kind of returning to that formula.
Do you want to know the speedrunning time right now for Zelda?
It's not like 45 minutes or something.
Yeah, they're doing it in 45 minutes already.
I heard it dropped. It was 59 or something. I heard it dropped.
Wow. So now, how are they doing this? Are they exploiting glitches in the game, or?
After they do the tutorial with the old man, they're going straight to the castle.
Yeah, you don't need to do any other crap. You just straight to Ganon.
Yep.
I don't know how, but yeah.
Yeah, they got 3 hearts, weak weapons, and that's how they're doing it. And what's cool thing is they'll go on the big rocks and they'll hit it when it's frozen. They jump on top of a rock and ride the rock.
Mhm.
I'm like, wow, these guys are genius.
That's definitely pretty clever.
Yeah, the game engine definitely allows for some pretty cool solutions to problems. We're just screwing around.
I like the weather cycles. I like that they try to be real with respect to physics. You know, if it starts raining, it puts out the fire, and things like that. I like a lot of the stuff in the game. I think the only frustration with me right now is really just not knowing if I'm in an area that I'm just way too underpowered to be in until until I'm like, in some cases, I'm literally like stuck in the area unless I just plain teleport out. And so it's like, I don't think I should be able to walk for an hour and a half before I realize I should not be here. So, like, so there should be
really,
some other indicator.
I think as long as you don't come across any like Lionels, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good indicator you're in the wrong place. But yeah, for the most part,
Now, when you're saying Lionels, are you talking those big spider things that walk around and shoot
No.
lasers and stuff?
No,
You'll know when you're in a Lionel.
Lionels
There's
are
also the flying things that look like the Skynet hunter killers.
they're sort of a half man, half lion.
Oh yes, I
Same.
have encountered those guys. Yeah, they can
Okay.
shoot lightning and crap.
Well, one of them can. Yeah,
Yeah, those things.
yeah, those are one hit kills, especially early on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm still getting killed by those things.
I'm at the point now where I can get hit right in the face, but would only take like 2 hearts of damage. So I'm doing pretty
Wow.
good with them. But yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
ran to a silver Lionel and I had a bad
Don't be
experience.
letting that pretty face take damage.
I'm just saying, like
My goodness.
you know, yeah, once you get the right gear and the right stuff, you can.
And the worst thing about the Lionels,
Huh?
they can arch arrows, so they can. If you're hiding from them, they can arch
Mhm.
arrows to get you still.
Yeah, they shoot up there.
Yeah. So Turf is saying that he's a little over halfway through and he's been having a blast. So
And Lionels also drop some of the best loot in the game too.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
they're
do they?
they're definitely worth trying to fight. But yeah,
I'll try and
Very
message you on
nice.
Facebook the link right now, and it's my Facebook not sending.
well, so I do see, folks. I'm glad that you tuned in with us today, and I hope that you enjoyed checking out MegaRan. So definitely check out some of his music. I'm gonna put some links down in the doodly doo to some of his stuff. So check it out if you like it. Throw him a couple bucks if you're going to one of his upcoming one of the upcoming events and he's playing live. Go check it out. Check out his live rap. It's pretty awesome when he builds a rap on the fly. Try to see if you can bring something to really surprise him. Keep it legal. Keep it legal. But
Yeah, man.
if you could surprise him. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. But I doubt he was ever gonna come to Utah.
you never know. If there's a retro gaming event there, right? He'll probably be there. So anybody else got any other details that they want to throw out before we close down the show?
Yes, Rips. You guys have to go to this website, Rips. In fact, we will have a link in the thing down below, right?
Yep.
And
Show
there
the
isn't.
show the back of it because the back of the shirt
No,
shows
it's
it, right?
blank. No, well, no. I mean, there is the thing inside of it, of course.
Yes.
Their
Rip.
logo.
Yep.
But they don't have anything on the back. It's just this. See, it's a gumball machine with all these different characters like Pac-Man, Sonic, Dragon Ball Z, and all these different things.
Yes.
Pokeball. And there's an awesome code. You get 10% off. It's gaming 4, number 4, ever, all one word, and you get 10% off.
Very nice.
So definitely check it out.
Oh, and in case anybody is interested, Free Comic Book Day is this Saturday. So if you are so inclined, go to your local comic book store and check it out. And don't forget to buy something because it's all free. So, buy something and give them some money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
support your comic book store,
Yes.
people.
Absolutely. So before we hang out, I did want to say I had tragedy befell. What's wrong? I see. Oh shit! You pantomiming. What's going on?
Nothing.
I just want to. You're all right over there?
Yeah, my phone might not be that. I broke it again.
Uh-oh. So, tragedy befell my house on Saturday. My son accidentally dropped my Game Boy Advance SP Model 101 on the ground and shattered it. Like,
Oh.
pieces. The only thing that was left was the screen. And so I went online and found a replacement case for it that was Zelda themed. And I have a write-up that I'm working on now on the VGCollect. I'll also have it on www.retroreloadpodcast.com. I'll give you my impressions of I'll tell you the kit that I used. I'll tell you how long it took to build, what I think of the quality, how the final result I feel has turned out, and whether or not it's worth the $17 I spent on it. So if you want to guys check that out offline, look out for that later this week. I'll be posting that. So you can catch that again on either VGCollect.com in the forums section, or you'll be able to see it on www.retroreloadpodcast.com. So if you've seen these round and about, and you're wondering, is it worth it? Wait for my write-up. You'll be glad you did.
Where did you get it from?
I got that one off of Amazon.com. So there is a link right now. There's, if folks want to know more details of what happened, if you go to VGCollect.com and go into the forums, in the hardware section, you'll see the thread that I started for my Game Boy Advance SP Resurrection, and I'll include a link to that down in the doodly-doo as well. But yeah, so you'll hear the story of what happened, how it happened. You can see a picture of the damage, and then a link to where I bought the replacement kit. What's going to follow this week is going to be my, I'm still putting together the write-up of when the kit arrived and all that other stuff.
Sounds good.
So I do have to say, it looks incredible on the camera, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Yes.
Looks pretty neat.
I'll give you $5 for it.
Hey, $5 for it. No, thank you.
I'll trade you mine for yours.
All right. So, folks, we're glad to have you on, giving your comments and your feedback in the chat. Always good to have the interaction there. So, you got other guests that you want to see on? Let us know. Have you been a guest before and you want to be on again? Hit us up. If we got an open slot in the future, maybe we can work it back in there. So, until then, we will catch you next Tuesday.
I'll miss you all.